Pashyantas chakshusha, seeing through the eyes, vidvamso manasa, knowing through the mind, prajayamana retasa, procreating through retas, ajivishmeti, that's how we lived. Iti. So when the organ of hearing heard this, recognized that this quality of sampat is not due to me, shrotram. So that sampat is not due to me. And with all humility, it entered. The next passage. No, but then we did not read the passage. Chakshura, that's what it was. All right, so we should read that also. 9th passage. I said, how come this came? Something was missing in between. Chakshurha Ucchakrama Tat Samvatsaram Proshya Agatyo Vacha Kathama Shakadamadrate Jivitumiti Te Hochuhu Yathandha Apashyantas Chakshusha Pranantah Pranena Vadanto Vacha Shruvantas Shrotrena Vidvamso Manasa Prajayamana Retasa Evamajivishmeti Pravivesha Chakshuhu. Chakshu had the same experience. Supratishtha. How are you able to establish yourself and how are you able to survive without me? Well, then they replied, how blind people live, that's how we lived. But then Chakshus found that they can survive without me, that the guna of pratishtha, this stability is not because of me, the Chakshu entered. Then, Manoho Chakrama Tat Samvatsaram Proshya Agatyo Vacha Kathama Shakadamadrite Jivitumiti Teha Uchuhu Yatha Mugdha Avidvamso Manasa Pranantah Pranena Vadanto Vacha Pashyantas Chakshusha Shruvantas Shrotrena Prajayamana Retasa Evam Ajivishmeti Pravivesha Manaha. Then the mind departed. Again the same story. How are you able to live without me? Yatha Mugdaha. Mugdaha means mindless people. Idiots you can call it. Or people who are otherwise, let us say, retarded, without the developed mind. So, avidvamsa manasa. Therefore, they cannot determine what is desirable, what is undesirable, what should be done, what should not be done, what should be avoided, what should be ignored, etc. Then, all right. But otherwise, living, breathing through the nose and so forth. So they live. Similarly, also we lived, and that's how the mind recognizes that this ayatanam, the abode, is not my virtue, and so the mind entered. And finally, the 12th passage. Retoha Ucchakrama Tat Samvatsaram Proshya Agatyo Vacha Kathama Shakadamadrute Jivitumiti Teha Uchuhu Yatha Kliva Aprajayamana Retasa Pranantah Pranena Vadanto Vacha Pashyantas Chakshusha Shruvantas Shrotrena Vidvamso Manasa Evamajivishmeti Pravivesha Retaha. Again, Retas, or organ of generation, similarly departed, and he was also replied, just as people without the ability to procreation, they can nevertheless live, and so also we lived. and this also entered accordingly. So Bhashyakara comments here on the page 1451. Tatha chakshurha uchchakrama ityadi purvavat Shrotram Manaha Prajatihi Iti. Thus, similarly, the chakshu, the organ of perception, departed. So, eyes departed. Ityadi is to explain as before. Also, similarly, Shrotram Manaha Prajatihi means Upasthendrim, organ of generation. All of this departed one by one is to explain as before. Then the 13th passage. Atha pranaha utkarmishyan yatha mahasuhayah saindhavah padvishashankun samruhed evamha eva iman pranan Samvarha Teh Uchuhu Ma Bhagava Utkramihi Navai Shakshyamastvadrute Jivitumite Tasyo me balim kuruteti Tatheti Atha Prana Utkramishan Naduchakrama. Then the prana was about to depart. So not that he departed, but the prana prepared to depart. Mukhya prana. Then yatha mahasuhaya. Haya means a horse. Suhaya, fine horse. Mahasuhaya, a great fine horse. Saindhava, coming from the country of Sindha. So these horses are very well known. So a horse coming from the country of Sindha or the Pradesha around Sindhu, a great fine horse from Sindha. Padvishashankun samvrhed. When the rider wants to test him, then this one here pulls out the Padvishashankun, all the pegs with which his feet are tied. That's called Padvishashankun. So, because that padvisha means the fetters, and so his feet are tied with the peg, with the help of some fetters or ropes. Padvisha shankun samruhed, and so he pulls out the pegs from the roots. Evam haiman pranan samvavaha. Similarly also when the prana began to depart, then all the visible sense organs also, they started to get uprooted from their base. Then they recognize that our being here is due to the pranas being here. Then they say, Ma Bhagava Utkramihi. O revered sir, please do not depart. Naham vai tadrute jivitumiti. Navai shakshyamah tadrute jivitumiti. Hey, we are not able to live here without you. We cannot survive here without you. Tasya me balim kurudvaiti. Then give me tribute, give me tax, or give me the tribute. Iti tathayati. This with sense organs agreed. Okay, we'll do that. So similar story appears in Prashna Upanishad also, briefly. Footnote 1 there iti Vagadi Parikshana Prakara Pradarshanaantaryam ityartha. Thereafter. Vagadi Parikshana Prakara Pradarshanaantaram. So, thereafter, having done the pariksha, having tested the individual strength or the power of the sense organs, thereafter. Also, Anandagiri says, Vagadi Prakana Vichchedartha Atha Shabdaha. This Shruti begins with Atha. Thereafter is that a new Prakarana begins now, a new section begins in a way that one section of testing the strength, the individual strength of the other sense organs is over. Here now also they are testing the strength of the prana, but it's now a different prakarana, in as much as those are not to be meditated upon. So all the passages have the tattparya in telling us that the object of meditation is other than the sense organs. The purport of this passage is to tell us that the object of meditation is mukhya prana. So that is how the prakarana vichcheda, a different prakarana now comes. So Bhashyakara says, Atha prana utkramisyan utkramanam karisyan tadanimeva swasthanad prachalitaha vāgādayaha. Atha, thereafter, prana utkramisyan utkramanam karisyan. Anandagir utkramanam karisyan yada bhavati iti sheshaha. So when the actual departing would take place, so prana just actually prepared to depart. That's all. He was going to depart, was about to depart. Tadanimeva, right then, immediately, this is what happened. Swasthanat prachalitaha vāgādayaha. All the rest of the organs, beginning of speech, they found themselves being dislodged from their own roots, from their own base. Says uktamartham dushtantena spashtena uttaravakyam utarayati. So this, how they got dislodged from the roots, that is to be clarified with the help of an illustration, dushtanta. So uttaravakyam utarayati, the next sentence of the passage is taken up for discussion by Bhashyakara, Kimava ityadina. Says Bhashya, Kimava ityaha. In what way? Meaning, giving the illustration, Yatha loke mahamschasau suhayascha mahasuhayah shobhano hayah lakshanopetāh mahan parimanatah sindhu deshe bhavah saindhavah abhijanatah. Yatha, just as loke, in our day-to-day experience, mahasuhayah is explained, mahamschasau suhayascha mahasuhayah, the one who is mahan, great, as well as a fine horse, a great fine horse. Suhaya, shobhanohaya, a fine horse. Why do you call him fine? Lakshanopetaha, possessed of the great marks, possessed of the great marks. Everything has its own marks, and therefore a horse is called fine when it is possessed of these specific marks, and therefore he is possessed of the mark, therefore a fine horse. And mahan parimanatah, also a great one because big in size. Saindhavah, sindhu deshe bhavah, saindhavah abhijanatah. Footnote number 2 there. Abhijanah iti janmabhumitah abhijanatah iti. Janmabhumitah ityartha. From his janmabhumi, Sindhu. So all of these visheshanas given to the horse to show that he is a very powerful and a wonderful fine horse, and he can just pull out those pegs, he possesses that power. To establish that, all these attributes were described of the horse. What is abhijanatah? Then, bhavet abhijanas khyatau janmabhumyam kuladhvaje kulepicha pumanati medini. So this Shabda Kosha called Medini gives the meaning of the word abhijana. Bhavet abhijana. Let the meaning of abhijana be khyatau, in khyati, in fame. Janmabhumyam, one's own, the place of birth. Kuladhvaje, being the very pride of the whole clan or the family. Kulevi, in the kula, in the family also. So the word abhijana has all these various meanings, So, what is it? Nahi, Adyo Bijanavaanasmi, that's also. But Māsucha Sampadam Devim Abhijatosi Bharata. Hey Bharata, you are born with this Devi Sampad, and therefore you should not at all grieve. Abhijatasya Bharata also. So, what is it? Dambho Darpo Vimanasya Krodha Parusyamevacha Ajnanam Chabhijatasya Partha Sampadamasoim Abhijatasya. And earlier in Devi Sampada also. Okay. So, then Padvisha Shankun, footnote number 3. Padvisha, it comes from Pad actually. That Da seems to become Da, So, Padanashila, Padaha. So, there is the root word Pad as well as word Pada, So, Pad, the plural is Padaha and Padaha. So, Padanashilaha Padaha. Padvisha or Padvisha. So, that which has the property or the nature of movement or going, Padaha. Tesham Samhatihi Padvi. So, Pad means those which have the nature to go. Tesham Samhatihi, their assembly is called Padvi or Padvi. Tasyaha Isha, the one who controls all the feet here. Niyamakaha Padvishaha. So those which control the movement of the legs, they are called Padvishaha. What are they? Shankavaha, those pegs. The pegs are those, the pegs and the fetters are those which in fact control the very movement of the legs. That's what they call Padvisha Shankun, Padvisha Shankun, Padvisha Shankavaha. Padvisha itself means a fetter, a rope, and Shanku means a peg. So the feet of the horse are tied to ropes with the help of the rope, and so that's called Padvisha Shankun. Okay. So Bhashyakara says, Padvisha Shankun, Pada Bandhana Shankun, Padvishāśyate, Shankavascha, Tan, Samvruhet, Udyached, Yugapata, Utkhaned, Ashvarohe, Arudhe, Parikshanaya. So Bhashyakara explained Padvisha Shankun, Pada Bandhana Shankun. So Padvishāśyate Shankavascha Tan. So those which are the pegs for tying the legs, Padvisha Shankun. Tan Samvruhed, Uchchadyed, Yugapat Utkhaned. Just as a fine, great horse may uproot them simultaneously. Not only one peg, but all the pegs are uprooted simultaneously from the roots. Utkhaned, uproot. When Ashvarohe, Arudhe, Parikshanaya, when someone has mounted the horse to test, the quality of the horse and gives a little bit of, just kicks a little bit, and this fellow, the horse being what is, he is, very powerful and wants to show his might, pulls all the pegs from the roots. Evam ha eva iman vagadin pranan samvavarha udyatavan swasthanad bhramshitavan. Evam ha, in a manner similar to that, eva, indeed, iman vagadin pranan, these are the sense organs beginning from vaga, the organ of speech. Some are uprooted. Udyatavan, swasthanat, bhramshitavan. Similarly also when the prana began to depart, then he has though uprooted all the rest of the sense organs from their own locus, from their own locuses. Siddhanagiri, pranasya shreshtatvam vagadavihi nirdhardamiti. In this manner, it is established by the rest of the organs that the prana is Shrestha, he is the most exalted. So Jeshtatvam and Shresthatvam. So prana is Jeshta and Shrestha. Why is Shrestha? Because this story tells us. So we understand the story. This story does not tell us the prana is Shrestha. It doesn't specifically mention. Vasishtha and etc. is mentioned. But Shresthatvam is to be understood. That so pranasya Shresthatvam Vāgādabhi nirdhāritam. So while the story that the prana is the greatest is established, Ityaha, that's what Bhāṣyakara wants to say, te Vāgādahiti. Te Vāgādaha ha Uchuhu he Bhagavaha Bhagavan ma utkramihi yasmat navai shakshyamaha tvadrate tvam vina jivitumiti te vāgādaha hiha uchuhu. Those all the sense organs, they said, He Bhagavaha, He Bhagavan, O revered sir, ma utkramihi, please do not depart, please do not go out. Tvam ma utkramihi, you please do not go out. Yasmat, because navai shakshyamaha tvadrate tvam vina, tvadrate means tvam vina jivitumiti, that we are not able to survive or live here without you. Therefore, you please do not depart, you please do not leave. Okay, we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bādarayanam Sutrabhāṣya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. अतः प्राण उत्क्रमिष्यन् यथा महासुहयः सैन्धवः पड्वीशशङ्कून् संवृहेद् एवं हैवम् एवं ह एव इमान् प्राणान् संवर्ह ते होचुः मा भगवत्क्रमिः न वै शक्ष्यामस्त्वद्रते जीवितुमिति तस्यो मे बलिं कुरुतेति तथेति Atha prana utkramishan. Thus, when the different devatas, the sense organs claimed their greatness, then prana wanted to demonstrate whose greatness it really is, and therefore utkramishan, utkramanam karishan bhavati. So when the prana started to depart from this body, like other sense organs went away one after the other, stayed out for a year and returned, discovering that the body was functioning even without them. No doubt, in a little handicapped way, but it was functioning nevertheless. But when prana started to depart from this body, Yatha Mahasuhayaha Saindhavaha, just as a great fine horse from the country of Sindh, Padvisha Shankun Samvrahed, just as it would pull out from the roots, all the pegs to which the legs are tied. Evam heva ivan pranan samvarha. Similarly also when the mukhya prana started to depart, it as though uprooted the rest of the prana, the sense organs, from the very seat. Teha uchuhu, and therefore they said, Ma bhagavaha utkramihi, O Lord, O revered Sir, please do not leave. Navai shakshyamaha tvadrate jivitamiti. We are not able to live or survive without you. Iti. Tasya me balim kurta iti. Tasya me balim kurta. If this is so as Bhashyakara said on page 1453, Yadi eva mama shreshthata vijnata bhavadvihi. If thus by you have discovered now mama shreshthata, that I am the greatest, ahamatra shrestha, that in the whole this Karyakana Sanghata, among all of you, that I am shrestha, I am the greatest, tasya me mama balim karam kuruta karam prayachadeti. Then give me tribute, give me the tax. So, in return for the recognition, or in recognition of the fact that I am the greatest among you, show your gratitude, or express this fact, or express the recognition of this fact on your part that I am the greatest, and that you are able to live here or survive on account of me. Not only the prana the greatest, but that the other pranas could not even survive without the mukhya prana. Then we are on the page 1453. In the last line of page 1452, Anandagiri says, Yathoktasya prana samvadasya kalpanikatvam darshayati. That this samvada, this dialogue indeed, did it take place among the different sense organs in the prana? Kalpanikatvam darshayati. Bhashyakara very clearly says that this is kalpanika, this is an imagination. Ayam cha. Bhashya says in the second line, Ayam cha prana samvadaha kalpitaha vidushaha shrestha parikshana prakaropadeshaha. Ayam cha prana samvadaha. This dialogue among the different sense organs and between the sense organs and mukhya prana is kalpitaha, is only imagined by the Shruti. For what? Kalpana phalam suchayati. What's the reason why this samvada is presented here? Even though that means that it did not really take place, or such a dialogue cannot actually take place, but it is shown as though it took place. For what reason? Vidushaha shrestha parikshana prakaropadeshaha. So, it is vidushaha, for the wise person, or I should say for the meditator, shrestha parikshana prakaropadeshaha. It is a prakara, it's a method as to how shrestha parikshana, how one should test the greatness of the prana, So shrestha parikshana prakaropadeshaha. How one should determine the shreshthata, one should determine the greatness. Oh, then the prana is greatest, this is how one should determine. The idea is that this is how a meditator should meditate really. So, here we will be told to meditate upon the prana is jyeshta and shrestha, as well as vasishtha and pratishtha and possessed of all other gunas. So, how do you determine the shresthatvam, the greatness of the prana, that he is the greatest? In this way. So, while meditating upon the greatness of the prana, you should thus meditate and see how prana is greatest as to when such a dialogue took place and how when the prana departed, then everybody also found themselves being uprooted from that very seed, and that is how the greatness of the prana is to be meditated upon. So, Shrestha Parikshana Prakaropadesha. So, this is really the Upadesha. This is the instructional part of the Shruti as to how here Vidusha means not a wise person or Brahmavid, but Vidusha should here mean actually the meditator, the Upasaka. Because when you want to meditate upon the Shrestha of the prana, how do you determine the Shrestha? In your mind, how do you visualize the greatness of the prana? So this helps the story. So this story helps a person visualize the greatness. So that is how the person who meditates upon the greatness of the prana should visualize the greatness. Tadeva spashtayati, Bhashyakara clarifies that anena hi prakarena vidwan konu khalu atra shrestha iti parikshanam karoti. Anena hi prakarena, in this manner indeed, vidwan konu khalu atra shrestha atra vagadishu, that when a vidwan or when an intelligent man wants to determine who among the Karyakana Sanghata is Shrestha, the greatest, then this is the way that one should actually determine the greatness of the prana. Iti parikshanam karoti. This is how one analyzes the greatness of the one who is the greatest among this Karyakana Sanghata, among the different sense organs. Siddhanagiri, upasya parikshana prakaro vyavakshitaschet. Hey, this is all the samvada is presented merely for the pariksha, for determining the greatness of the prana on the part of the upasaka or the meditator. If this is so, kim samvadena? Why should samvada be presented? You could have simply stated the prana is shrestha and jyestha and shrestha. Iti asangya saeshaha. Saeshaha parikshana prakaraha samvadabhutah kathyate. Saesha parikshana prakaraha. You require a certain method in order to arrive at the greatness of the prana, and therefore this samvada is a very convenient way of arriving at the greatness of the prana, therefore it is presented here. Siddhanagiri, samvadasya mukhyarthatvat, not artha, but artha, mukhyarthatvat, akalpitatvam ashankyaha. Somebody says, why do you think that this samvada is kalpita or imaginary? Why cannot be that it really took place? That such a dialogue actually took place, why not? Iti ashankyaha nahi iti. So that ashanka is replied by Bhashyakara. Nahi anyatha samhatyakarinam satam esham anjasa eva samvatsar matram eva ekaikasya nirgamanade upapadyate. Anyatha. So, other than this, anyatha means what? Footnote 5. Samvadasya kalpanikatva anabhivagame. If you don't accept the samvada is kalpanik or imaginary, then samhatyakarinam, footnote 6, militva kriyajanakanam. That one sense organ requires other sense organs also in order to perform its function, and therefore in this Karyakana Sanghata all the various sense organs of the prana in fact function in a combined way. So they function in a group, and therefore it cannot be the one just leaving the others, and so samhityakaranam satam militva kriyajanakanam, that all the kriyas or functions are in fact generated by a combined or joint effort, together they in fact are able to accomplish the various activities. Esham anjasayava, esham karananam, anjasa swatantrena sakshadva. That this karana, the sense organs, swatantrena, on their own, or sakshadva, in reality, samvatsaramatrameva, for 1 year, and just for 1 year in each case, ekaikasya nirgamanadi na upadyate, it is not possible that each one of them can depart like this in a primary way or independently. So we know that when the Sanghata dies, then they all depart, almost together. We also know that when the Sanghata is born, then also all of them come. So they all start functioning together, they depart together. Even if it takes a few minutes here and there, but not for 1 year, that one goes away, for another year one goes away. This kind of a thing is not possible in practice. So, see, Bhashyakar also has no difficulty in stating that this samvada is a kalpana. Otherwise, it's a big thing. That this is what the Shruti says. If this is said perhaps in Islam or something like that, that something is a kalpana, something said in Quran, I think, head will be chopped off. How can you say that what the Veda says kalpana? But Veda is a teaching methodology. Vedas in fact want to teach, they want to communicate, and not just want to make statements. And therefore, if you communicate, you want to make sure that the Nisarga in fact gets what it is that you want to communicate. And that's the reason why certain methods or prakriyas are employed in order to communicate. So this is also a way or a method employed to communicate the idea of Shreshtatvam, of greatness in the prana. So this is how a person who wants to meditate in his mind can determine how the prana is the greatest, and that's how the greatness can be visualized, and that's how he can meditate upon that. Samvadasya kalpitatve phalitamaha. That is samvada is kalpita or imaginary. So what's the result of that? Tasmadadi. Tasmad vidvan eva anena prakarena vicharayate vagadina pradhana bhuvutsuho upasanaya. Tasmad, therefore, vidvan eva anena prakarena vicharayate. Therefore, upasaka or meditator, he thinks in this manner. Vagadinam prabhana bhutsu vidwan. So vidwan meditator who is desirous of determining, so bodhavichu, desirous of knowing who is the greatest among the vag or among the different organs, upasana, for the purpose of upasana upon the one who is the greatest. This is how a meditator in fact, Visharayati, he thinks. That means, as we said, he visualizes the greatness. It is like giving up any kind of a alambana or aid. Either we are given Om, we are given certain other things like Vyahrutis and like Sandhi and so many other things are given as aids to visualize certain ideas, like the connection that obtains between the different elements of the creation. And so Ishetva, so how one takara is added in between, so that becomes the connecting link between Ishe and Tva, and so different connecting links are there. So between the earth and the heavens, there is a connecting link like the intermediate space. Between the fire and the sun, there is a connecting link like the lightning. So these different connecting links are there to help us see this connection that obtains in the nature. Apparently diverse looking elements or diverse looking forces have a certain connection. How do we visualize that connection? So based on the connection that you know as to how different letters in a sentence when you pronounce them are connected. And similarly also, these different elements of nature are connected. So connectedness is what a student of Vyakarana or a student of Veda knows. Ishetva, and how that takara in between connects the two. So he knows that. That is why, in order for him to visualize the connectedness, he is given this model, he is given this alambana to see the connectedness obtaining between the different elements of nature. Like Vyāvara, Omkara, upon that you do the drishti. So for us to have the drishti or bhavana of God, so Omkara or a mantra is given. Similarly also for us to have, to visualize the idea of greatness, this samvada is given here. This is how we have to see. Siddhanagiri, evam prana samvadasya tatparimuktva prakrutam aksharavyakshyanameva anuvartayati. Evam prana samvadasya tatparimuktva. In between, Bhashyakara took out a little time in explaining the whole passage, even though a part of the passage remains to be explained. So usually you explain the whole passage and then tell the tatparya of the passage, the purport of the passage. That is the style. Sometimes you explain the purport or you inform about the purport to begin with and then explain the passage, or having given the word meaning of the passage, then tatparya, the purport, is explained at the end. But here, Bhashyakara left out the last sentence or last two sentences and explained because they are not relevant to this. That is why Bhashyakara chose this particular juncture in order to explain the tatparya, the purport of the passage. Evam prana samvadasya tatparimuktva. In this manner, explaining tatparya, the purport of this dialogue between the pranas. Prakrutam aksharavyakshyanameva anuvartayati. Or aksharavyakshyanam, it is prakrutam aksharavyakshyanameva anuvartayati. Or prakrutam aksharavyakshyanam eva anuvartayati, either way. And so one of the two must be corrected. And so the aksharavyakshyanam, and so the explanation of the passage is what is happening right now, is the subject in the discussion. Anuvartayati, ashrayati. Again Bhashyakara so resorts back to the explanation of the passage and says balimiti. Balim prarthita santah pranaha tatha iti pratījñātavantah. So tasyo me balim kuruta. This is what has been said. And then, so tatha iti, this must remain, So balim prarthitaha santah pranaha. The sense organs who were thus requested or asked for giving the tribute. Tatha iti pratījñātavantah. They consented, made be so, iti pratījñātavantah. Footnote 11, tatha iti. No, footnote 9. Tathastu iti angi chakruhu. They accepted it. They accepted that yes, the bali, the tribute must be given. That the mukhya prana's demand of a tribute is reasonable, is quite justified. And therefore, they accepted the reasonableness of the demand of the prana and consented that yes, we will give you the tribute. Iti pratījñātavantah. Okay, continuing. Sahavagadi pratīkamadaya vyachaste. And then again, now, Bhashyakara explains the next passage. Let us read the passage. Sahavagvacha yadva aham vasishthasmi tvam tad vasishtho sīve yadva aham pratisthasmi tvam tat pratishtho sīve chakshuho yadva aham sampadasmi tvam tat sampadasīdi śrotram यद्वा अहमायतनमस्मि त्वं तदायतनमसीति मनः यद्वा अहं प्रजातिरस्मि त्वं तत्प्रजातिरसीति रेतः तस्य मे किमन्नम् किं वा सैवे यदिदं किञ्च आश्वभ्यः आक्रमेभ्यः आकीटपतङ्गेभ्यः तत्तेन्नम् आपो वासयति न वा अस्य अनन्नं जग्धं भवति न अनन्नं प्रतिगृहीतम् एवमेतत् अनस्य अन्नं वेद तद्विद्वांसः श्रोत्रियाः अशिष्यन्तः आचामन्ते अशित्वा आचामन्ते एतमेव तत् अनग्नं कुर्वन्तो मन्यन्ते। So now the tribute is being given. Saha Vāgvāca. In giving the tribute, the Vāg, the organ of speech, again came forward because that was the first one to depart, and therefore that was the first one that came forward. Yadvayaham Vasishthasmi, the organ of speech told the Mukhya Prana that I am the Vasishtha, that is possessed of the quality of dwelling and providing the dwelling and covering or overpowering. Tvam tad Vasishthosi, that quality of dwelling or making others dwell or covering or overpowering is indeed on account of you. You are that Vasishtha. That I possess that Vasishthatvam. Evidently, I seem to possess a Vasishthatvam, but that really belongs to you. And then Chakshuhu, the eyes said, Yadva aham pratisthasmi, that I have the attribute of steadiness. The eyes help a person to remain steady in even an uneven ground and even in uneven times also. So, yadva aham pratisthasmi, that I have that quality of pratishtha, the steadiness. Tvam tat pratishthosi. Hey Prana, in fact that steadiness is due to you. You are the one who really possesses steadiness, and it is because of you that I possess that steadiness. Aham sampadasmi, tvam tat sampadasi shrotram. And the organ of hearing says, Shrotram, that I possess sampad, the prosperity. So because of the hearing, then people learn the Vedas, and because studying the Vedas, and they perform the rituals, and because of rituals they become wealthy. Okay? So, that I have this quality of the prosperity, He Prana, that is due to you. Really, you are the prosperity. That is reflected in me. Yadvaham ayatanasmi tvam tadayatanasiti manah. And the mind says that I have that quality or attribute of providing the refuge. That mind is indeed the ayatanam, the abode of the sense organs as well as sense objects. Because sense objects can be only experienced and enjoyed only when they become the object of the mind, that the mind assumes the form of the sense objects in terms of the vritti, and the sense organs also follow the command of the mind for them to come and go, perform the respective functions, and therefore that I have the attribute of being the abode, He Prana, that is also due to you. Yadvaham prajati asmi tvam tat prajati hasiti retah. Reta means the seed or the organ of generation. Said that as the attribute of generation, he prana, that is also due to you. So when the tribute is given, then the Mukhya Prana, the vital force said, Tasyomai kimannam kim vasahiti. Alright, so I who is such, because of whom you have this Vasishtha and Pratishtha and everything else, so I who is such, for me, kimannam, what is my food? Kim vasahiti, and what is the clothes? So what is my dress, or what are the clothes that I have? Then they say, Yadidam kincha ashvabhyah āṅkarabhāṣya ākīta patangebhyah. So whatever it is, beginning from a dog all the way up to Shva means dog. So all the way including the dog and including krimi, the worms, and including kita, patanga, insects and moths, Kita means insect and patanga means moths. So including all of this, tatteyanam, this is your food. What is meant is, whatever it is that these creatures eat is your food. Because you are the self of all, and therefore, wherever any sense organs are there, they are all due to you. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamasthita. So you are really the Vaishvanara, Jatharagni, the digestifier in the stomach of all the creatures, not only human beings. And therefore, whatever food anybody eats, including dogs or the worms or the moths or whatever, or the insects, whatever it is that they eat, tatte annam, that is your food. You indeed are eating that. And therefore, whatever food there is of any kind is indeed your food. One can say that the dogs and the insects also is your food. But then, idea is that whatever they eat is your food. And what are the clothes? Apo vasahiti. And the water is your vasa, your clothes. So Vashyakar will explain that the purpose of the statement is that the Shruti is enjoining that we should meditate upon the Mukhya Prana as possessed of these attributes. That all the food eaten by any living being in fact is the food of the Prana, and that the water is the very clothes of this Prana. This is how we should meditate upon Prana, along with Jyeshtha and Shrestha and whatever. Then what's the result of that meditation? Nahavasya annam anannam jagdham bhavati. Then whatever the fellow eats is all right. Anannam abhakshyam. And so there is nothing that is not eaten by him properly. Or whatever is eaten by him is all right. Abhakshyam, uneatable. So prohibited food also is there, but for this person, this upasaka, whatever he eats is in order. Nothing that he eats can be said to be anannam, abhakshyam, not eatable or not fit to be eaten. So whatever he eats is fit to be eaten. He never eats anything that is not fit to be eaten. That is his glory. Even though outwardly he may be found to eat something that is unfit to be eaten, and still on the strength of the upasana, it all becomes fit to be eaten. Annam pratigrihitam. And whatever gift he accepts also is quite all right. Annam na anannam pratigrihitam. So nothing that is not food is not accepted by him. Means whatever he accepts is food. Evam edat anasya annam veda. So anasya pranasya. Thus one who knows or meditates upon the annam, the food of the Mukhya Prana, for that person everything is food, and whatever he accepts also is food. Then tat, footnote 1, tat vidvamsa iti. Yasmat pranasya apo vasa tat tasmad ityartha. And since apo vasa, so what is my clothes? Said apo vasa. The waters are your clothes. Since water is the cloth of this prana, therefore, cloth means the one that he wears, what he wears, dress, whatever you call it. Tasmad, therefore, vidvamsa, shrotriyaha, Therefore, those who meditate upon this attribute of prana, that water is clothes, Shrutya, those who are versed or learned in the Vedas, we find that Ashishyantaha, Achamanti, they sip a little water, Ashishyantaha, when they are about to eat their food, just before that, they sip a little food, a little water. Ashitvacha Achamanti, and having eaten the food also, we find they sip a little water. Then what happens? Tat anagnam kurvanto manyante. With this idea that way they are providing the clothes to the prana. Because water is the clothes to the prana and prana is the food. So, therefore, before the food also you sip a little water covering the prana. After the food also you sip a little water covering the prana with clothes. Footnote 2. Tad anagnam kurvanto manyante, footnote 2 explains, tat tena ubhayataha apam bhakshanena. Tena. So by this act of sipping water before and after the meals, anagnam manyante, anagnam kurvanto manyante, anam pranam, anagnam, achadam, ityartha. Otherwise prana remains nagna. Prana remains without the clothes, it is not covered by the water. And therefore, the meditators or wise people, or those who are versed in the Vedas, they provide the clothes to the prana by sipping the water before and after the food. Going back to page 1453. Sahavagadi Pratikamadaya Vyachaste. Bhashyakara takes those first words of the next passage and explains these prasamamiti. Sahava prasamam balidanaya pravrittaha kila vacha uktavati. Sahava, that Vaga, the organ of speech, prasamam balidanaya pravritta. So organ of speech which then came forward first to provide the bali, meaning the offer the tribute. Ha kila uvacha uktavati, the organ of speech indeed said this. Yadvai aham vasishthasmi yanmu vasishthatvam tattavaiva tena vasishtha gunena tvam tad vasishtho sīvi. Yadvayam vasisthasmi, that I am vasishtha, possessed of the attribute of dwelling and making others dwell, providing a dwelling. Yanma vasishthatvam, meaning that vasishthatvam, the attribute of vasishthatva. So attribute of dwelling and providing dwelling that I possess, tat tavaiva tena vasishtha gunena. So that is because of vasishtha gunatvam that you possess. So you possess that vasishthatvam, and because of that I am possessed of the vasishtata. Tvam tad vasishtho sīvi, you are really the vasishtha, and because of that I am vasishtha. What says? Yadvai aham. Okay. Then Anandagiri explains, Tena vasishtha gunena tvameva vasishthosi. So you are indeed that vasishtha, possessed of the attribute of vasishthatvam. Tatha, footnote 11, tatha chaiti, tathaiva vasishthatva gunashrayatve sati aham vak tvad vasishtata eva vasishtha iti bhavaha. So tavaiva vasishthatva gunashrayatve, since you are the very ashraya, the very abode, the locus of the attribute of vasishthatva, Sati, that being the case, aham vak, I the organ of speech, Tvad vasishthataya eva, because of your vasishtata, vasishtha iti bhava. So I possess a vasishthatvam because of your vasishthatvam in fact. Or I am vasishtha because you are indeed vasishtha. Going back to Anagiri, tena vasishtha gunena tvameva vasishthosi. So it is you who is in fact vasishtha and not I. Tathacha tad vasishthatvam tavaiva eva iti yojana, meaning that vasishthatvam is yours and not mine. That means they all surrendered their attributes to prana. That's how the tribute is given to the prana. Then continuing, yadvai aham pratisthasmi tvam tat pratishthosi yamama pratishtha satvamasiti chakshuhu uvacha iti pratyekam sarvatra sambadhyate. Chakshu uvacha, then the organ of seeing, the eyes said, yadvayaham pratisthasmi, that I possess the attribute of steadiness. So, pratisthasmi, yamam pratvat tvam pratishthosi, you are that pratishtha, so you are the one that is the steadiness. Yamam pratishtha sa tvamasi, so the steadiness that I have is indeed you, you are that steadiness in me. So, the organ of seeing, so the eyes possess that pratishthatvam, the steadiness, you are the steadiness. The organ of hearing says that I possess a vasishthatvam, that you are the vasishtha, and so forth. Then Vashyakara says, Chakshu uvacha iti pratyekam sarvatra sambadhyate uvacha. Chakshu uvacha, Shrotram uvacha, Mana uvacha, and then what is it? The Reta uvacha. This is how we have to pratyekam sarvatra sambadhyate. So with each one of them, everywhere the uvacha is to be connected. Next sentence says, samanamanyata. Well, in each case we would understand it this way, that then also the mind says that I possess the ayatanatvam, you are the ayatanam. And the organ of generation said that I am prajatihi, you are that prajatihi. Or Shrotram said I am the sampat, you are the sampat. So Vashyakara said, Sampata Ayatana Prajatitva Gunan Kramena Samarpitavantaha. So Sampata Ayatana Prajati. The Shrotram possesses Sampat, the Mana possesses Ayatanatvam, and the Retas possesses the Prajatitvam. So Gunan Kramena Samarpitavantaha. So that one by one they surrendered, they offered all their attributes to Prana. Then Anandaki says, Bṛhadāraṇyaka Upaniṣad annavasasi pruchyate. Having accepted Bṛhadāraṇam, having accepted the tribute, then Prana asked them about his food and the clothes. Yadi evamiti. Yadi evam sadhu balim dattavantaha bhavantaha bruta tasyo me evam guna vishishtasya Kimannam kim vasa iti. Then says, Yadi evam sadhu balim dattavantaha. Hey, you have given the tribute in a very excellent way. In a very excellent way you have given the tribute. If this is what you have done, bhavantaha bruta. Bhavantaha iti shatrantam. So bhavat, this is the plural of bhavat. I think you will understand. Bhavantaha bruta. So bruta means yuyam iti adyaharaha. Because bhavantaha and then bruta. So then it should have bruvantu, I guess. That's how it should be. Bhavantaha. Bruta. The yuyam bruta itadyaharaha. So, balim dattavantaha bhavantaha, then yuyam bruta. So you who have given this bali or the tribute in an excellent way, then you, bruta, you people tell me, tasya bhuvuksho, I am hungry. So bhokta vichho, I who is hungry, so tasya bhuk, ma, tasya means tasya me, evam guna vishishtasya, nagnasya. I am both hungry as well as without clothes. Therefore, you please tell me or provide me. That's what it means, you know. Kim annam kim vasaha iti. Iti prana iti. So what is my food and what are my clothes? Iti. Then footnote of 5, iti pranavacha shrutva, that iti goes with the next sentence rather than this being the sentence of the prana. The iti should be a conclusion of the statement of the prana. But anyway, the footnote connects iti shrutva and connects it with the next sentence. Iti shrutva. Iti pranavacha shrutva. Sri Ranagiri, evam guna vishishtasya jeshtatva, shreshtatva, vasishthatva adi sambaddhasya ityartha. So tasya ume evam guna vishishtasya, I was possessed of this guna of jeshtatva and shreshtatva and all these other gunas, vasishthatva and, pratishtatva and so forth. So I, who is hungry and who is without the clothes, what is my food and what are my clothes? Iti. Ahuhu itare. Itare vagadeha. So rest of these others, sense organs, they all said. So says, yadam ityadi vakyam vyachashte yadidam iti. The next sentence is explained. Yadidam loke kincha kinchita annam namapi ashvabhyah āṅkarabhāṣya ākītapatangebhyah. Idam loke yatkincha, idam loke yatkincha, the whatever food there is in this world, annam nama, so whatever is known to be the food, api ashvabhyah, including the food of the dogs, āṅkarabhāṣya, including the food of the worms, ākītapatangebhyah, including the food of the insects and the moths. Next sentence is Yacha Shvanam Krumyanam Kītapatanganam Cha Tena Saha Sarvameva Yatkinchida Pranivihi Adyamanamannam Tatsarvam Tava Annam Sarvam Pranasyannam Iti Drishtihi Atra Vidhiyate. Yacha Shvannam, whatever is the food of the dogs. Krumiyannam, what is the food of the worms. Kita Patangannam, whatever the food of the insects and the moths. Chatena sa sarvameva. Apart from these are not the only creatures, including all of these fellows. Chatena saha, including that anna, sarvameva yat kinjit pranamihadyamanamannam. So whatever it is, whatever food is eaten by any living being, including the dogs and the worms and all of that. So somebody may not want to do those things. I think from the olden days also dogs are always looked upon as an unholy animal, So they would never be allowed. And then there is also stories that a female dog happened to go, in the area where the yajna was taking place and how it was driven away, etc. And so, because dog eats, all kinds of stuff, and that's the reason why it is looked upon as an impure animal, so that they don't touch it. There may not be any cats those days because you don't find any mention of cats, but dogs you always find, Vidya, Vinaya, Sambandhe, Brahmane, Ganiha, Gavihastini, Shunichaiva, Svapagecha. And so dogs must be there from the day, stray dogs, that too, because I don't think that the Vedic people or any people will actually have them as pet in their house. No way. And so the stray dogs must be there all the time. And somehow they must also form the objects of contempt in some ways. That is why you find them being mentioned here. So somebody may think that what they eat cannot be eaten by prana, and these worms, So that also they must have known. So no, even that food also. Whatever that even a dog eats, or the worms eat, and insects eat, and even moths eat. They may not have these, these lizards and things like that in those days, I guess, otherwise that would have been included also. Anyway, tena sa sarvameva yat kinchit pranamihadyamanamannam. So whatever it is that is eaten by any creatures, so says Anandagiri, prakrutena shunam annena kitadinam chandena sa yat kinchit krumyinyam drishyate. So prakrutena, including the shunam annena, so including the food of the dogs, kitadinam chandena sa, including the food of the insects, yat kinchit krumyinyam drishyate, whatever that is eaten by these worms, tat sarameva tav annamiti yojana. All of that, hey prana, is your food. Tadeva Sphurati Bhāṣyakara explained that yat kinchit pranabhi adyamanamannam tat sarvam. Footnote 7 there, tat sarvam tav annamiti. Atra vartike annam tad bhavatas sarvam vayam tat shesha bhoginah jivah pranotra samsari bhoktendriya manah parahiti. Annam tad bhavadah sarvam. In fact, all of that is your food. Vayam tvat shesha bhoginah. And we are those who eat only the leftover of you. That you eat the food, and the food that is eaten by you is what we eat. So the rest of the sense organs get the nourishment after the prana has eaten the food, digested and assimilated. And all the rasa, that is the food is transformed with rasa. And it is that which is what the sense organs get. So, vayam tvat shesha bhoginah. So we are those, we eat only the food eaten by you. We do not directly eat, but we eat the food eaten by you. You are the one who eats all the food. And we are those who eat the food eaten by you. Or left over by you, or I should say eaten by you. Jivaha pranaha atra samsari. Who is this prana? What is meant by prana? Vārdekara says jivaha. It is jivatma who is meant to be the prana here. Bhoktendriya manah paraha. So one the bhokta, jiva, samsari, identified with indriya and manah, identified with sense organs of the mind, because sense organs and mind, etc., by themselves are achetana, and therefore chetana or atma identified with them or in association with them is what is meant by different pranas here. So Tika said Atmendriya Manoyuktam Bhokta Ityahu iti Shrutim Suchayati Indriya Manah Parahiti from Kathopanishad Atmendriya Manovuktam Bhoktetyahu Manishanaha. Indriyani Hayanahu Vishayams Teshu Gocharan Atmendriya Manovuktam Bhoktetyahu Manishanaha. So wise people say that the Bhokta is the Atma, identified the body and sense organs. And that is what is meant by prana here. Mukhya prana, I guess. Padartha muktva vakyartham kathayati. Having explained the meaning of the words, then Bhāṣyakara explains the tatparya, the purport of this statement here. Sarvamiri, sarvam pranasya annamiri drashti yatra vidhiyate. This is being told for the purpose of meditation. Drashti. So you meditate upon this fact, or meditate upon this idea that all the food, in fact, is the food of prana. So wherever any food is eaten by any creature, that's the food of the prana. This is a further attribute of the prana. Now, before going further, Bhāṣyakara thinks it is important to clarify certain things with reference to the statement that the wise people is identified as the prana because of his meditation on prana, and the prana and all the food eaten by any creature is the food of the prana. That means the wise person seems to be able to eat, or this seems to give a license for the wise person to eat anything and everything. Looks like it. Therefore, Bhāṣyakara sees the need to clarify that. He is a Brahmana anyway, so what do you expect from him? So, next page 1455 says, Asminneva Vakye Pakshantaram Utthabhayati. With reference to this Vakya, that whatever is the food of all the creatures is your food, with reference to that, Pakshantaram Utthabhayati takes up another Paksha, another viewpoint. Ye kechittu iti. Kechittu sarvabhakshane dosh abhavam vadante prananna vidaha. Kechittu, there are others who have this opinion, sarvabhakshane dosh abhavam vadanti. They take this sentence and say that prananna vidaha. So one who meditates upon the anna, that all the food eaten by any creature is the food of the prana, so one who meditates upon this fact, for that person, anna dosha bhavam vadanti, that he actually becomes free from dosha of any annam, regardless of whatever it is that he eats. Because anna, a lot of doshas are there. Jati dosha is the first dosha. By a very jati, annam is dushitam. And so all this onion and garlic and let alone meat or flesh, there is no question about stuff like that. But even so much other thing, even mushrooms also are discarded, You have to look at the Shrutis. Half of the thing that is being eaten, I think will be discarded, or most of it. If they discover what all preservatives are added, or what other things are added in cooking the food or preparing the food. So we get the prepared food, all these Maggi and stuff like that. If you go into what goes, I imagine, I do not know what is contained in there, but if you go into every ingredient which is there, including toothpaste and stuff like that, that's what I was told. Even in such things as toothpaste also, there are certain ingredients which are not kosher at all, which means that they are certainly not acceptable. They are not vegetarian. They involve some animal product is involved in many things. And that is verily done in India also, including cheese, even ice cream and stuff like that, cakes and pastries and all, some of these crackers also, what you call biscuits, who knows? And so, I have no way of knowing that all the crackers or biscuits that we're eating, or the cookies they call it, so that you eat, I don't know what all the ingredients are there. And so, now that I think of it, I think, we must investigate. And anyway, the idea is that you just never know what is what. And so most of the stuff that comes, as far as we are concerned, as far as environmentalists are concerned, lot of environmentally unsafe things also come. Or as far as the naturopaths are concerned, lot of hygienically unsafe things also come. So hygienically undesirable, environmentally undesirable, and culturally undesirable. If you exclude all of them, practically nothing will remain to be eaten. Even the vegetables and fruits that we get, also the kind of water that they use and kind of stuff that they use in fertilizing that, So if you go into that, you may have a hard time actually eating anything that's available these days anyway. But I guess fertilizing is okay as long as there is an assimilation process involved there. But they even spray some kind of water, on all these vegetables and fruits, just to keep it clean, I guess, whatever. So, therefore all these meditations are required, some upasanas are required, or tapasya is required, because so much dosha comes these days without our even knowledge. So we think that what we are eating is all safe and clean and also acceptable culturally or scripturally. But that may not be so. And therefore to allow for some unforeseen or inadvertently, inadvertently, things that enter inadvertently also, you have to provide for it. And that's why these days it is very important that people must have upasana in their life. You find people falling in so much, because of lack of upasana, all the anna doshas come and they pollute them. And so all kinds of diseases are there also because there is no compensation for all the impurities that are going into our system. There is no compensation, there is no purification process to compensate that, perhaps, I don't know. Anyway, that's all by the way. But then, prananavidha dosh abhavam vadanti. They say that the person who meditates upon this prana, as that all the food belongs to prana, that person is free from any dosha at all. That is how this statement is interpreted by some people. In fact, Bhashyakara has not even explained the subsequent nahava asya anannam jagdam bhavati. That is not even explained, and before that Bhashyakara takes up this discussion. Why do they say that? Nahava asya ityadi arthavada darshanad. So the subsequent sentence, nahava asya anannam jagdam bhavati, is all right to say that all the food belongs is prana's food. That's okay. Brasya vidushaha, all this vidwan or meditator, na anannam jagdam bhavati. So there is nothing that is eaten by him that is prohibited. So whatever he eats is all right. Even though he may appear to be eating something that is prohibited by the normal standards, but then on the strength of the upasana, he becomes free from that dosha. So nahavai asya anannam jagdam bhavati, na anannam pratigrahitam, ya evam veda. So that statement is interpreted by some as a permission for this person to eat whatever comes on his way, whatever he likes or whatever comes on his way. And Bhashyakara wants to say that that is not a vidhi or injunction, that is arthavada. So that statement, whether it's a vidhi vakya or it is an arthavada vakya. Arthavada means it doesn't have swartha tatparya. It is tatparya in the vidhi or nishedha. And so whether this vakya, nahavai asya anannam jagdam bhavati, na anannam pratigrahitam, ya evam etat anasya annam veda. So whether that statement is an arthavada or is it vidhi, some people take it as vidhi and say that for this person everything is fine. Bhashyakara is arthavada and is not to be taken literally. So whether certain statements must be taken literally or not, we should. When Veda is a pramanam, then we should take the statements literally and not try to find some other meanings. Only when literal meanings are not acceptable or not consistent or do not make sense or do not fit into the context, they are not consistent, then we should look for some other meaning. Then we have to classify. We are not talking about the meaning of a statement, but the classification of a sentence. Whether swartha tatparya that sentence has its tatparya, the purport, in the literal meaning that it provides, or parartha tatparyam, or that statement is made to support some other statement. So Arthavada does not have Swartha tatparyam normally. Arthavada, which is a statement of praise or censure, has its tatparya, the purport, in some vidhi or nisheda. And Bhāṣyakara wants to establish that statement Nahava Asyanannam Jagdam Bodhi is Arthavada and therefore doesn't have Swartha tatparya. So Anandagiri says, Nahava Asya Ityadi Arthavadasya Arthavada Darshanat. So since that statement is there, therefore some people say that statement seems to give a license or seems to absolve, this meditator from the dosha or the blemish that would come, or papa or the sin that would occur, or he would incur by eating the prohibited food. The Bhāṣyakara says, Tadasata Shastrantarena Pratishiddhatvad. Tadasat, that conclusion is not right. Why? Shastrantarena Pratishiddhatvad, because other scriptures in fact prohibit eating just any kind of food. Says Anandagiri, Shastrantarena Krimayo Bhavantya Bhakshana Krimayo Bhavantya Bhakshya Bhakshana Ityadana Ityartha. So this statement, Krimayo Bhavanti Abhakshya Bhakshana, those fellows who eat things that is not eatable, that is not fit to be eaten, they Krimayo Bhavanti, they become worms. That's what happens. So that they can keep on eating all that, all the uneatable food they can eat to their heart's content. For that, they must go into that yoni, like the worms, or the pigs, or the dogs, or whatever it is. And so, here, as a human being, when a person eats the food that is not fit to be eaten by a human being, in a subsequent birth, he goes into that yoni, where it is quite fit to be eaten. Because it is vasana. Therefore, he is given birth in it so that he can eat that stuff to his heart's content and then become free from his vasana, I guess. So what will happen to most of the world, I do not know, There are some people who eat because they have no choice, but most people these days, because choices are created now. Maybe 50 years ago or 100 years ago, choice was not there. The agriculture, was not that advanced, and therefore the food grains may not have been available for the entire population of the world. There was some population which had no choice but to eat meat. But that cannot be said today. Plenty of grains are available. That being the case, nobody has justification of eating meat. Unless they just eat out of fancy or out of the taste or out of whatever it is. And that cannot be any justification. And all these years, these fellows provided justification in the name of proteins. This is just a myth created by the medical world, that's all, to push certain things. Or the lobbyists, they work through the medical people. Like the milk, the milk is a complete food, and then milk, the huge, these advertisements of milk in the US and everywhere else. Until these naturopaths came, and they said milk is not fit to be taken by human beings, that's all. By grown-up people. It's only so all that a human being can drink is a mother's milk as an infant, and that's it. So milk is always meant for the infant and not meant for anybody else. So human body is not designed for this cow milk or buffalo milk, let alone, And so when they declared, so lot of attack against milk also is there these days, And then other people have a lot of sensitivities. What kind of acid is there in the milk? That lactic acid. People have this lactic acid sensitivity, and so many people in the Western countries, they cannot tolerate lactic acid. The moment they drink this milk, all kinds of things happen. So all this biogas and things that happen, that may show a certain lack of tolerance of lactic acid. But people have other problems also, therefore Now they have lactic acid free milk, milk without lactic acid you can get. You can get everything there, whatever you like, at least in the US. And so the idea is that as we learn more and more about the things, then we find what is eatable, but then certain complexes are created. So how do you get this protein, how do you get that protein and stuff like that? The naturopath says that you don't need any proteins, that's all. Whatever proteins come in the food grains or vegetables, and that is enough, and all this stuff is not needed. But otherwise, there is still a complex. Even in children also, in parents also. That if you don't eat meat, then you cannot get certain proteins. You cannot get certain nourishment. And therefore, you will be devoid of certain nourishment. And therefore they feed meat to the children, literally. But then this is a complex created by some people, by the meat lobby. That's all you need to do, is to announce your inevitably your need through accepted instruments, so accepted journals and accepted media, that's all. So people whose words are accepted as pramana, and if you make them speak, that's it. You can perform the research also and then bring out you can also, the results of the research also can be tailored, And so that's how all the tobacco lobby went on for all these years. Then they said so much research shows, our research shows that there is no relation between the smoking and cancer. And still many people want to believe that, so that they can justify smoking. But a lot of research has in fact indicated a very strong connection between smoking and cancer. But the tobacco lobby being so powerful, they will not allow those results to be published or to be propagated anyway, and their own results will be found, given a lot of publicity. All kinds of politics, this is all politics. And that's going on at all different circles anyway. So, when it comes to food, still people keep on arguing, Indians keep on arguing. Most of the Indians eat meat, by the way. There are some fellows in Gujarat, not many in Gujarat also. Because it has become very fashionable to drink alcohol and eat meat in certain circles. And other people don't eat because they don't get or whatever it is. But anyway, so in Gujarat also there is now increasing proportion of people who eat meat. And what to talk of other states? There are certain states, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, all the northern states. And so the southern states, Maharashtra and even this Andhra and Telugus and some of these people, Bengalis, so Punjabis, there's no problem. Anyway, I guess still in India, I think majority may be perhaps vegetarian people, and in Gujarat in particular. But people find justification like this to eat whatever they want to eat. Therefore, in the US, sometimes Swamis are in fact, we have to fill these kind of questions as to where is the evidence that the meat should not be eaten, where is the evidence that meat is prohibited, and you don't find any evidence. The thing is that in Indian scriptures you do not find any evidence, any clear statement that meat should not be eaten. Kalanjam na bhakshe. Kalanjam means the meat of an animal which is killed by a poisonous arrow. You don't need to be told that anyway, but still that's just a statement. Kalanja is a word which is meat of an animal killed by a poisonous arrow. So poisoned meat, that's what it means. It is not a prohibition against meat. Anyway, why should I go into that? The idea is whatever it is. So thank God that Shastra krimayo bhavanti abhaksha. What is abhaksha is a question anyway. Abhaksha bhakshana krimayo bhavanti. The fellows who eat that which is not fit to be eaten become worms. So going to footnote number 6. Because this krimaya, what is that word, So, krumaya is all right, krimaya. Krimi shabda, krimi pariyaya. That's all. Krimi means krimi. Where did you tathacha medini? That's what you find in that dictionary. krimirna krumivat kite lakshayam krumilekhare iti. Krimihina, this word krimi is in fact a masculine word. Na. Na means comes from the word nir. Krumivat, like krimi. So like a worm, kite in a certain insect, lakshayam like the lac, the red lac, lak.